So this welding, this is welding. It gets two metals stuck together, as you can see there. Just to put two metals together, put it through here. Yeah, to hold it, just sticks them together. Yeah, so you want a stronger gauge, something that can last, that can withhold the temperatures. Uganda Industrial Research Institute, URI, is a parastatal organization under the auspices of the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. And were formed by an Act of Parliament in the year 2002. Our mandate is to engage in activities that will result into the industrialization of Uganda. And in that regard, we engage in very many activities, some of which were involved in creating platforms for value addition and product development. Because you realize that a lot of our products here in Uganda are sold in the primary form. And yet, if you sold a product, if you added value to it, you'd get a better quality product and you'd even get a better price. And would also be saving a lot of our products from the problems of post-harvest loss, because that is the big challenge that we have in our country. We do transfer technologies from all over the world into this country. And these are basically technologies that we feel can be used to exploit the various raw materials that are locally found within our country. We fabricate machines and different kinds of machinery, and we also develop our own technologies here at Uganda Industrial Research Institute. The YouthWorks program is a very good program because they are trying to uplift small enterprises and entrepreneurs, which is very important in our country, because if you know that the SMEs are a very important arm in the economy of our country and of any country, because they help the development of our country. They are the biggest employers in their country, in any country. So the YouthWorks going down to support these entrepreneurs and helping them get mentors like Yuri, who are going to give them more advice, who are going to hold their hands, and try to pull them to a certain level, is a very good thing. We've had a couple of discussions with Emmanuel, the Kenya of motor factories, and we found out that he has he has a vision. He has a very big vision regarding the stoves and the business that he wants, and he's very innovative. He has a team he's working with, and they're doing quite a good job so far. For the time they have started with this product, they are doing quite a good job. However, he is having challenges in regard mostly with the marketing of his product. And that's where we are going to come in as Uganda Industrial Research Institute. We are going to help to see how can we build his brand, because he's been focusing mostly on the push strategy, pushing his product down to the consumer. But now we are saying, why don't we have a pull strategy? Why don't we come up with a pull strategy? And in that regard, would like to build his brand, would like to make his brand known to the community. We have a couple of incubation projects that we have handled over this period of time. But I will just talk about two, and probably the achievements that they have had. One is we have one product that we started and we have been working on in the cosmetics area, and that is Amagara Skincare. They are incubated here, but it was a typical way industry is supposed to develop. We started with Amagara Skincare in our laboratories, in the biotechnology laboratory, using beakers, trying to test and see how can we come up with the cosmetic product. And eventually we moved up from there and we piloted, did a prototype using a bench reactor, which would make about 2 liters. We tested that and we found that the formulas and everything was okay. And then after that, we're piloting with them within our facilities. And they're piloting, now they're producing very many skincare products. They're producing lotions, they're producing body butters, they're producing hand wash products, and a host of other products which are currently being sold in the market. If you look at this section here basically is where cow horn products are processed using simple, appropriate technology that you can see right here. And here are some of the products that the cow horn products that have been produced by these teams.
So you mean the incubatees can come here and produce something?
Yeah, these are incubatees. These are people we are supporting. These are entrepreneurs. So this entrepreneur is Cedars. So they come, bring their raw materials, and they are able to produce quality ornamental products that they can take straight to the market.
Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for being, that kind of have these facilities to incubate, cushion these SMEs.
Yeah, ideally it's our duty to support the development of industry in this country, and we're always happy when you come to us and we are offering you the support that we are able to. So you're welcome. Ideally here on the Youth Works program.
Thank you.
And the issue of your factory, the motor factories, you're actually producing very impressive stoves. We are very impressed with what you have come up with.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We are fortunate enough. We are privileged to have this pretty innovative product, and we've done everything possible within the factory to tweak our processes. We focused on that for the last 7 months.
Yeah.
We've been able to scale from 5 stoves a day to 40 stoves a day.
Oh, wonderful.
In those numbers, we now have a pretty good price line for the consumers. So we came over here to Yuri to see how you guys can help us to further our business, push it further in terms of marketing and sales and distribution.
Considering your project, we believe that the first thing we should do is to try and see how can we build your brand, how can we reposition you, how can we reposition your product so that your brand is known. So as an institution, the support we are going to offer you right now is we're going to offer you support in the form of coming up with some sort of brand strategy for your product, because we believe that we would like to build the demand for your product. People should get to know your product and start demanding for it.
We have a pretty impressive product, and it's a pity we focus more in terms of just pushing it. And I'm glad to learn that there are other strategies in terms of pulling the market towards us.
Yeah.
And I think it will be pretty important also to have our image and the brand to compete with the rest of the other existing stock businesses.
Yeah.
And I think it is really a privilege to be working with Yuri in that regard.
You're having a product which uses biofuels, like the maize cobs, the bamboo, and all these other fuels that
The briquettes.
The briquette. But one thing is you're kind of selling your product without the raw material, the fuel.
That's right.
So we need to find a way that we can have your product and the fuel, all packaged together, so that somebody who needs to buy the product, but needs to buy the stove, should be able to also easily access the fuel for it.
I must confess, it's something that we underestimated in the start. We thought we were giving these consumers liberties, opportunities to choose and pick from any biomass around them. But for a startup within Kampala, it's going to kind of costly for us to extend operations to those rural areas that have access to this biomass. whereas these urban markets have been conveniently accessing charcoal in every 10 or 5 meters. And so we ought to have our fuels right there.
So we shall work with you to see how we can get all the things together. And at the end of the day, it's always our pride as an institution to see an entrepreneur succeed. Because when you succeed, then we feel we have done something good. All right, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much.
We hope we shall have more serious, interesting deliberations thereafter.
I appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to a more fruitful business going forward.
Thank you. Industry is very important for our country, and value addition is also very important. Let's start thinking of how we can add value to our products other than selling our products in the raw form, because we export a lot of products in the raw form. For example, look at maize. You're exporting the maize to Kenya, or we are selling the maize to Kenya. If you go to Malaba, you find a lot of bicycles crossing with maize. And yet, that maize can give you both the maize and the maize bran. The maize bran can be good for the feeds. So if we added value to that maize by processing it, we'd have maize, the posho, that we can eat as humans, and we can use the maize bran to make feeds. But we end up selling the whole thing, and then we're importing the maize bran, we're importing the feeds from Kenya and other places. So it's very important that let's develop industry in our country. Let's add value to our products, and in order to let our economy thrive.